Hey, it's Millie from UPDO, and welcome to another episode. In this series, I'm going to discuss 10 easy work from home jobs which almost anybody can do, with some basic computer skills. So first of all, there's a community moderator, also known as a forum moderator or a community manager. So what is this job? Well, first of all, let's take a quick look at what forums are, since apparently some people don't know what they are. So forums, they're like message boards, communities online, for specific kinds of things, where people hang out and discuss all kinds of problems, questions, issues, to do with what that community is about. So for instance, City Data Forum is a community for all kinds of different cities and states and small cities in America. And people who live in those areas join, and then they talk about all kinds of things. So for instance, Los Angeles, they talk about stuff to do with traffic, to do with housing, to do with new laws, to do with fines, or to do with corona, for instance, right now in Los Angeles. Tipping, anything to do with that area. And as you can see, there are tons of different replies and different posts on these threads. There are also specific forums for specific interests and hobbies, like photography, or design, graphic design, art, 3D. And of course, an example is TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is a forum, and you can see in this category there are 19,000 topics. You can see people talking about cruises, cancelled cruises, that they didn't get their money back, asking questions. And if you go to any of these threads, you can see somebody asked something, and then a lot of people answer him. And there's also, of course, mommy forums of them talking about pregnancy and babies and poop and diapers. And there are also forums that companies have for support. So many companies try to dissuade you from contacting their support per email or per phone because, it costs them money per hour when they have to answer people. And they try to send you first to a forum where you can ask questions and talk about problems and try to get help from other members. You can see there are a lot of people posting problems there. And for instance, QuickBooks, as a company that has products, they also have a forum here. People are talking about their business and so on. So what's a forum moderator or a community moderator? Well, basically, whenever there's a forum and people can join, they're going to be spammers there too, promoting Viagra, promoting sweepstakes, promoting all kinds of irrelevant things. And they don't want that. They want it spammed out so much that people leave and don't want to talk there anymore because it's full of, hey, buy this Viagra, and all that kind of garbage. Also, forums have to be careful that there's no hate speech, that there's no racist stuff and nasty stuff in their forum, because if there is, the whole website could be deleted and they could get sued. Also, they don't want people calling each other names or fighting and getting offended and saying, oh, what a horrible forum, it's full of trolls who are always abusive and nasty, and then everybody leaves. So as a forum moderator, first of all, you have to get rid of spam. So whenever there's some kind of a link in a post, depending on the forum, you might get alerted, and then you can check it out and say, oh, that's a bad link. No, away with that. Or, that's okay, he's linking to Wikipedia or to something else that's harmless. Sometimes people also report content. So you can see here in TripAdvisor, if this was something evil and spammy or nasty, we could report it. And then it would go to a moderator who has to look through all the different reported threads. And sometimes when people are annoyed at each other, they report each other even when there's no spam and nothing wrong, just because they're annoyed that, if it's an art forum, maybe someone said, your monster isn't that pretty. I don't think you did a good job. And then he's really annoyed and he reports that. And then you have to look and say, that's spam, that isn't. And also you have to make peace between members who start fighting. Cool them down, say, no, be good, that's not nice, don't call him names, say sorry, or you're going to be kicked out, this is your first warning, this is your second warning, and all that kind of stuff. And the bigger that the forum is, with more replies and more threads posted all the time, some are very busy and have like hundreds or tens of thousands per day being posted, then you'll have a lot more work. And those kind of forums, they need a lot more moderators because one person can't manage looking through thousands of new posts per day. Also, some smaller forums, they like to be friendly and make everyone feel homely and welcome. So every time there's a new member, the moderator says, welcome to the forum, Josie, or welcome to the forum, Jinxie, Junksy, 123, depending what they call themselves. Sometimes they have strange names. And then people feel happy and welcome and feel like it's a cozy home for them. In some forums, like mommy forums or art forums, sometimes they also start certain threads, the moderators. They start certain threads like, post your cute baby photos or post your birthday photos or post your pregnancy photos. Let's see your bump and all that kind of stuff to get people engaged. Because if people don't come back to the forum all the time and don't comment, it dies. And then people see, oh, the last post was like from 2 years ago. I don't want to join that forum. There's nobody there. It's dead. It's boring. And then they don't join, then they have a problem. So they always want to keep the members engaged, keep them busy, ask them questions, do some kind of fun contest, ask them to share a certain picture, ask them their opinion on a certain thing. Or for instance, in the mommy threads, they'll say, post the name of your baby, and then everyone goes posting, my baby's called Rebecca, mine is called Tommy, and then they have a very active thread. So being a community moderator is a very easy thing. Now, also sometimes people have Facebook groups or Facebook pages, and they need you to moderate those pages because people might post negative comments on the pages, saying, I hate your business, you never reply to the emails, and having something like that on the page would be very damaging to the business. Sometimes people also freak out if they message a page like at 2 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday and nobody replied to them. And they start fuming, this company is a scam. I just purchased and nobody replied to my support request. And then on Monday when you come to work, then you have to deal with that and smooth their feathers, calm them down, and if necessary, delete that nasty comment before it becomes a fad. And suddenly everyone starts a hashtag war saying this company is a scam because one person said that. Things can go really fast, really nasty. So there are all kinds of community moderators. It's an easy job, and you don't need too many skills for that. You don't need a degree. Basically, you need computer skills. You need to have a friendly personality, be able to calm people down, not annoy them, obviously, not call them names and all that, be able to detect spam, which is pretty easy to do, and have decent English skills so that you can talk to members if needed, etc. So where do you find community moderator jobs? Okay, so the biggest site for freelance work is Upwork.com. So go to Upwork.com, and then on the homepage, click on this icon here. And instead of searching for professionals and agencies, if you're a company hiring, search for jobs, since you're a freelancer who's looking for jobs. And then you can see it change to find jobs. Now let's look for something like forum moderator. And the different keywords that you can look for. You can look for forum manager, forum moderator, forum support, community manager, community moderator, and depending what you look for, different jobs will come up. So I suggest that you look for everything possible to find the most amount of jobs, and then choose the ones that are most interesting. Okay, so forum moderator to begin with. Also, on the topic of forum moderator, you could look for forum moderation. That's another thing people might put in their title instead of forum moderator. It's the same thing, but it's just a different way to look for it. You might find different jobs. So you can see right now there are 22 jobs looking for somebody to do with a forum moderator. And here you can see what they pay. So this one pays hourly, per hour. Every hour worked is an hour earned. This one is fixed price. So you can see he wants to pay $200 maximum, fixed price. Now if we say see more, let's see what that $200 is for. Maybe it's per month. Let's check it out. They probably mean per month. It's unclear. Sometimes they say we need this for months and this is a monthly price. In this case, they're not saying what it's for, but it's probably per month. Now, sometimes companies want someone really, really cheap, and different people from Asia and so on, they're happy with $200 per month. So they're probably looking for somebody cheap. Let's continue. If we check out this first listing, click on it, you can see more information. So what they need, 1 year experience in sales, blah, 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 social media. Tools that you'll need to use, Google Suite, that's Google Docs, Google Sheets, very easy to learn. Knowledge of social media platforms, well, obviously if you're on Instagram or Facebook, then you know how they work. Reliable internet connection, sure, most people have that, I suppose. And here they say how much work they have for you. So more than 30 hours per week. So it's a full-time job for more than 6 months. So that's awesome if you want to work full-time online for a company. And you can see here how much they're willing to pay. So they're not looking for somebody really cheap. When a client posts a job, they have 3 different things they can select. I know that because I was posting jobs myself. So you can select either entry level, which is very cheap, low pay, and for that they have an icon of $1. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to pay the person $1 per hour or even $5 or $9. You might end up paying them $15 per hour. But the icon for that low pay, entry-level kind of person that you're looking for is $1 sign. That's just the icon for it. And $2 is for intermediate. It means you want people with some experience, but not experts. They're not too expensive. And $3 signs means that you're willing to pay a lot more because you want someone who's really good at what they're doing. So that's what it means. It doesn't mean that you'll actually make $200 per hour or anything like that. You might make $30 per hour. No, it depends on the client. But this $3 sign just means they want an expert. If you scroll down further, you can see how many proposals were submitted, meaning that between 10 to 15 different people applied to this job. And that's not too many to compete against, I think. I mean, it's not like hundreds, so that's pretty good. And here they have a section where they say what kind of skills they want you to have. So you need to have skills to handle calls, you need to know how to use Zendesk, which is a program. You need to know how to use a ticketing system, that's, for support, product support. Time management, well, that's basically, managing your time, not wasting it on social media and everything else, but managing it effectively so you make the best results for them and are able to work well and manage a lot. Now here's something else interesting. Here's some information about the client. So you can see where the client is from. This one's from Austin, USA. This is how many jobs that client posted. So this client has been hiring a lot. That's impressive. Here you can see the hire rate, meaning from all the jobs they posted, how many times did they actually hire somebody? So, about half of these jobs were closed without hiring anybody. And that can happen because they didn't get any good applications and they didn't hire anybody. Here you can see how much the client spent in total on this platform. And that's very interesting. You see, wow, this guy spent a lot of money. And it looks like a lot of money, but if you think of it, if about 100 and something jobs were closed successfully and he chose somebody, then 100,000 divided by 100 and something jobs is not that much. Also, we don't know this 100,000, what it was in total, how long it was, over how long a time period he spent this money. Perhaps it was, as you can see, he joined 10 years ago, now it's 2020. So throughout 10 years, he spent over 100,000, which is 10,000 per year. That's not so much. And if he hired 100 people, that's really little that he paid each. And here you can see how much the client spends on average per hour on wages. So this client is not into hiring expensive people who charge $30 per hour. Or so it seems. Now, another thing to note is that even though the client may have been hiring only very cheap people for all the past 100-something jobs, that doesn't mean that for this job he wouldn't hire someone who charges 30, 50 or whatever per hour, even if it's much higher than what he's been paying on average. And the reason for that is, well, you don't know what kind of jobs he was hiring before. Perhaps it was something very simple. Data input, something else, that he got all kinds of people from other countries, third world countries, for really cheap. And they were happy with that. But that doesn't mean that now he's not willing for this particular job to spend more. Obviously, it's good if you see a client who on average has been spending a nice amount per hour on wages, then you think, great, he'll probably spend the same amount on this job. But that's not always the case. Now, clients also get reviews. So freelancers can review the client too. And you can see this one has a 4.96 star rating. If you see a client that has bad reviews, there are two reasons why he might have the bad reviews. Maybe he really is a nasty client to work with and you should stay away from him. Or maybe he hired a bunch of people who were very incompetent, who were cheating him on the time, annoying him, didn't do the work well, and he gave them bad reviews. Then to revenge, they went back and gave him bad reviews. Which in fact happened to my mom once. She hired somebody who cheated her on the time, who was terrible, and she left him a bad review. And then he was angry and he left her a terrible one. So it's not always, if you see a client with bad reviews, that it's a bad client to work with. But that is something, of course, to be a bit wary of. Now, if you wanted to apply, to this job, then when you're logged in to your freelancer account, then you can apply as a freelancer and you'll submit a bid. And I have a different video talking about bids. This one is mainly about community manager, what that is. So if you want to learn how to bid and how to have the most chances to be accepted for a job, check out my other tutorial. Okay, so continuing down, here we see another job, hourly. Community engagement evangelist. That's more like community moderator manager. What we saw before was more like a support person here. Here, Customer happiness, yeah. That came under forum moderator for some reason, but that's more like customer support. As you can see, they wanted people to answer tickets and customer support. But if you want a forum moderator job, this is more like a community evangelist. And there you go, there's another thing that you can look for. Instead of forum manager, community evangelist or forum evangelist. An evangelist means that you engage with the people in the community, you chat with them. And they say here, to engage and extend the online presence in different communities. So that's great. And again, if we scroll down here, we can see that they're willing to pay a medium range wage. Not super high and also not super low, which is good. Community operations manager, that's a fixed price project. If we check that out, we can see, I wonder what the fixed price is for. If that's a monthly, oh, here we see part-time 4-month contract role. So $5,000 is for part-time for 4 months. So if that's something appealing to you, maybe you want to apply to this. And you can see here they posted 8 jobs and they hired 25%, a few of those people, and they spent only around $100, but that doesn't mean that they won't be spending more now. Okay, continuing down. This one is in French. If you speak French, that's great. You could check that out. You see, some things totally irrelevant that fall into this search, like build an app that has nothing to do with forum moderation. Suggest a forum CMS. That's if you're a web developer. It's nothing to do with that either. Again, something in French. $30 fixed price now. That's not really worth applying to because you're going to have to spend 15 cents or more to apply to it. And that's such a small fee, a small amount of money that you get. Plus, Upwork is going to take off 20% of that, so you're hardly left with anything. See, here there are more pages. If you want to check out more pages, click on the next page. Online Community Engagement and Growth Assistant. There we go, that's something interesting. Entry level, okay, they also don't want to pay too much. They want to pay pretty little, but if you're entry level, that might be something for you. 10 to 30 hours per week. That's part-time to almost full-time, and for more than 6 months. And you can see it's an individual person probably. I stream on Twitch in my free time, so it's not a company, it's an individual. Looking for someone to help keep my Discord active, moderate and participate in my live streams, and keep viewers engaged. Oh, that sounds pretty fun. Help develop and run fun online community activities like art contests or photo challenges. Like I mentioned before, sometimes you have to start some kind of a contest to keep people engaged. So that's great. Entry level, yeah, he doesn't want to pay too much, but maybe that's something for you. And even if someone says they don't want to pay much, they only want someone an entry level of the lowest rate, if you're really good and you convince them about your merits and how you're going to help them and do a really great job for them, they might be willing to pay more. They might be willing to pay 15, 10 or even more per hour, even if they said that they wanted somebody who was very cheap. Community expert. Here, community manager, managing our Instagram account. So that's not really a forum. It's sort of like a social media manager. They're calling it a community manager, I guess because they consider Instagram like a community of followers or something like that. Here, you see you have to speak English and French, so if you can, that's something for you maybe. Here again, community manager on the support team. And here the price. Now, if you want to only go for certain jobs that pay like not an entry level, but either expert level or intermediate level, you can filter the results. So going up here, we can click on filters, and then we can say we want less than 30 hours per week. We're not available full time. We only want a part-time job, or we want a full-time job. We can also say we want only fixed price jobs or hourly or any type. And on some sites, you can also select the kind of money that you want to earn. Here we can't, but other freelance sites, sometimes you can. Okay, so remove that. Now something interesting, if we go down to any of these, you can see they have different category tags. So you say see more. This person posted this job under, where is it? Under all these different categories. So back to search results. Let's say we looked for something like forum moderator, and we see some relevant posts, like community evangelist. Then we get different other ideas, online community management, community moderation. And if you click on any of these, it will take you to a job search for that specific skill. So now you see we have 27 jobs. Before we had only 22. And here we have different ones. So here is a fixed price for a pretty low amount. Here also a low amount. And here we have community manager and brand ambassador. That one I didn't see before. And here you see intermediate experience level. So they're willing to pay not just the very basic wage. And they need help with brand management, Slack community management, Facebook group, Twitter, and Instagram community. Okay, great. And here are some other things too. So just keep going through that until you find some nice jobs that you want to apply to. And again, check out all these different category tags here. There might be something else that's relevant to you aside from community moderation. Maybe community strategy is something you think, oh, that I could do, definitely. Or social media management. Or online community management. Now we searched for a skill called community management, and now there's another one which might give us different jobs. So we check that out. Online. It's not clickable. Sometimes they're clickable, sometimes not. Community outreach, now that might be something too. Alright, so go through that. And aside from Upwork, of course, there's some others. Not that. There's some others too, like freelancer. Say browse jobs. And we look here for community manager. Okay, and they're not showing me anything related, so either the search is really crappy for some reason right now, or it's not loading. But you can see if it was with relevant results now. Then we could sort here either by newest projects, latest ones that were just posted and they're looking for hires right now, or by lowest budget, highest budget, or lowest amount of bids, meaning there are not so many people competing on that job, or the highest amount of bids, which means it's a very popular job that everybody wants to get and might mean that it's a really awesome job. But you have a lot more competition. So we say highest budget first. Then we can see it changed to something incredibly, crazily high. Now, I kind of doubt that somebody is offering, what is this? $60 million to build a website? I mean, that's beyond insane. They might have meant some kind of other currency, like rupees or some other very strange currency, maybe, and they entered dollars. Or they wanted to be on the very top, so everybody who searches for the highest budget sees them, so they get the most amount of bids. Here you can see also very high budget. Sometimes they do that to just stick out, perhaps. Doesn't mean that they're willing to pay $60 million for a website. Okay, now I just searched for moderator. I didn't search for community moderator or anything like that. And you can see now it's sort of finding a bit more relevant jobs. Not really, but you can see it shows these jobs because it has that word in the description. The moderator, not really relevant. And if I try to search for two things, then they're not showing me anything. Forum moderator. Yeah, here we go, forum something. Upwork is really the best site. Now, there's one more, people per hour. And here we can look for forum moderator. That's a bit more relevant. Forum poster. Moderate, refresh company branding. And here you can see the fixed price. They want to pay $150 for that. And if we check out that listing, it's hard to know exactly if he means that for full-time or for what exactly. Most likely he means that as a monthly wage. So you can see there's a lot of irrelevant stuff here on people per hour. But in Upwork, there's a lot better, many better jobs. And here, that's a very attractive one, $20 to $50 per hour. Doesn't mean that they're actually going to pay that much. They might be happy if you charge $15 and hire you very happily, or they might be happy if you charge them $30. But that means that that's their minimum budget and that's a maximum budget. And they need not much work per week, less than 10 hours, so it's sort of part-time, but they need it for more than 6 months. So that's good if you want a bit of extra money per week. And if you work 10 hours, it's $20 per hour, then you make an extra $200 per week. It's not too bad. And if you get a few jobs like that, then you make a full wage. And just out of interest, let's check this listing out. You can see on average they pay freelancers that they hire $15.66 per hour across all kinds of jobs that they hire. Different clients might refer to the same job slightly differently. So here's some ideas what you can search for. Search for community, web, website, online group, or forum, and moderator, manager, admin, moderation, management, or support. So, for instance, you'd look for forum moderator or community moderator or community manager, one at a time, obviously. Okay, so that's all about how to find community moderator jobs and what does a community moderator do in general. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them so I can answer them and maybe make another video. So comment below if you have any questions, subscribe for more tutorials, and visit updoacademy.com to discover many fun ways to make money online, including a passive income.